So why did no one tell me that one of the most haunted places on earth, period, is in Rose Hall, Jamaica? And Annie Palmer, whose spirit is still tied to that house in Jamaica till this day, is one of the most evil and malevolent spirits that anyone has ever encountered. I am back with another spooky story. You probably don't want to watch this one at night, especially if you're in Jamaica. So I was scrolling earlier and I came across this girl's video. Well, she visited the Rose Hall Great House, and let's just say that Annie Palmer did not take a liking into her. So visiting the Great Hall was actually a part of their excursion. And the Jamaican people, y'all are hilarious for making people pay for this. They had a choice between the daytime excursion of the Rose Hall or the nighttime version, which would be a little bit more interactive. She said her first red flag was when she was headed up there, she asked her driver if, he's ever been there. The driver's like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard of it. Never done it, but you let me know how it goes. So they check in, waiting for the rest of the group to arrive, and then they are greeted with a performance. The performance was definitely adding on to the spookiness. So they were given a few set of rules, like no recording. If you hear chains at night, you need to leave immediately. Don't run, just find your closest exit and get out, because we know about rolling calves, right? So the tour guide tells them that the White Witch usually walks around at night, and you may even see her. And in all of this, she's thinking this is all a part of the act. She says that certain things happen during that tour that she's sure were not a part of the tour. So they learn all about Annie Palmer, which I will make a separate video about Annie Palmer because I actually think her story is very fascinating. But just so you know a little bit of background about Annie, she learned voodoo from her black slave in Haiti, got to Jamaica, married a rich white man, which is how she inherited the house, had an insatiable taste for slaves. She would hook up with the slaves and then unalive them. She also unalived her husband and like 3 other husbands after that. That land has so much bloodshed, lost spirits, trauma, evil, pain tied to it. Even in the spirit realm, Annie is still enslaving all the other spirits in the house. Keep that in mind, let's keep going. So while they're telling her about the history of Annie, we learned about Taku, which was one of Annie's enslaved lovers. However, Taku had this beautiful granddaughter. She basically unalived Taku's granddaughter because she was beautiful. She was a mulatto, and this is when this girl starts to feel targeted, because Annie is known to not like beautiful women. So they go downstairs into the dungeon, and that's pretty much where they used to discard the slaves. And they turn the dungeon into a bar. People is just sitting around chilling. This is also kind of disrespectful when you think about it. She's standing there at the door close to the dungeon. She just starts to feel sick, nauseous. She decided to stick it through because she was almost done with the tour anyway. They walked to the grave of Annie. She said the second she walked out the house, she did start to feel better. So they're walking to where Annie's buried, which is on the property. And as the tour guide is explaining why they have all these crosses on her grave, suddenly they hear chains dragging. Without saying anything any further, the tour guide literally calmly walked toward the exit and tells the group, everyone, let's go. We need to leave now. The homegirl is holding on to the tour guide and they're basically headed to the exit. Her and the tour guide were one of the first people out because people were like paces behind them, but she wasn't playing. She's saying she doesn't know if the dragon chains was just a part of the excursion, but here's what she knows for a fact wasn't a part of the excursion. Well, when they got back to the hotel, they debrief and, well, nothing happened. Another day passes, and then the girl that she went with had a dream. In her dream, there was a lady banging at their hotel room door, shouting, "Bring that bitch out," referring to Miss Mulatto. That creeped her out, so she brought it on again later on that night in the hotel room. And as they're talking about it again for the second time, lights just start flickering. Mind you, her hotel was only 5 minutes away from Rose Hall. Mind you, the flashing is happening all over the hotel, in the bathroom, in the rooms, and they just looked at each other and just stopped talking about it. And now she's back to the States. She just told the story. Any Jamaicans in here? What do y'all know about this? All my years of telling spooky stories, I've never told one about Annie or this property. This one was truly spooky. Ever go to a haunted house in the Caribbean or Africa? From your favorite Haitian homegirl.